Oh, tier list. Something we have not done on this channel before. I'm here with the bro and our friend, and tonight we are going to be ranking track and field athletes by tier. And it's not necessarily just going to be about times, medal counts, world records, how long they held world records, but also overall impact on the sport. Um, were they entertaining to watch? What they did off the field, off the tracks? That's all going to be factored in as well. Because I don't know about you, but I mean, I would say like more so you, but like track and field, probably a thing that's pretty near and dear to us, both having been competitors. I mean, at least one of us was good. I tried, but but yeah. So this is our tier list. We have a lot to go through here, so we might be here for a little bit. But I guess I'll go ahead and kick us off. So my three, let's just get like the S tiers out of the way.
Yeah.
Jesse Owens automatic S tier. I would say that's the easiest S tier of my life because he basically psychologically defeated Hitler before World War II even started. Like easy S tier.
Yeah, no
easy
counter.
S tier.
That's easy.
All right. Usain Bolt, easy S tier, greatest of all time at the 100-meter. Probably never going to see that 9.4 get broken.
Yeah, most relevant, like sprinter, famous, money, you name it. He's got it. That's easy.
And thirdly, I would go. I know I'll catch some shit for this one because it's going to be, but the steroids, FloJo, just because the time she absolutely dominated. No woman is breaking 10.4. I'm sorry. As well as she was also doing like 6 other things during that time. Not to mention designed the modern day Indiana Pacers uniforms. Pretty ridiculous.
I would put her in A tier, but I don't know.
You'd put okay. No. I will hear this. That's why it's a tier list. I mean, we're making it together. Why is FloJo A tier but not S tier?
I mean, she cheated. I don't know. I can't put you in S tier.
Keep in mind though, it was never proven that she cheated.
Yeah, okay, but that's like making the Balco argument for A-Rod. Like A-Rod never technically popped, but like
there were A-Rod popped. He got suspended for a whole season for getting popped.
He didn't technically pop. Like the reason he got suspended was he was in Balco records. He wasn't actually tested positive.
There's a few other people on here too, or we'll encounter the same thing where they're very strongly implicated, but nothing is actually proven. It's hard for me to like when if you like the discussion around the sport, like nobody really talks about like that, like it's the actual world record. Like,
well, let me ask you something. If we gave Shelly Ann, right, or Sha'Carri a bunch of HGH right now, would they beat FloJo's 10.4?
Absolutely. Shelly Ann's run under 10.6 multiple times. Like she pretty much does it every year.
She's and we're sure, and which is really amazing because that's very old for a sprinter.
I mean, like while we're doing,
I should say mature.
While we're having that discussion, you might as well just put her in the S tier too. Like,
that's okay. If you'll give me FloJo for S tier, I will definitely give you Shelly.
I mean, there's no just like if you're talking overall GOAT of sprints, like she's right there with Bolt. Like,
yeah, for women sprinting, okay.
I was texting you that earlier, that if you look at her career after 30 years old, she has had the world best in the 100 6 times. She has multiple gold medals. Like she's had a Hall of Fame career after Bolt retired, and they started sprinting at the same time.
All right. Yeah, that is hard for me to argue. And and I can't even argue against that because I've literally used that argument when we've talked about other things, like when we debated, like, is Tyson Fury the GOAT? And I said, like, well, that's Mike Tyson. By the time he lost a fight, had already fought more fights than Tyson Fury had fought in his entire career. So consistency is a huge thing for me. And to be fair, like FloJo was also a flash in the pan. Like, she got in and got out. So I would put that. I would put them both S tier.
I mean, the thing about like sprinting is that there are no Tom Brady's in sprinting. The closest you got to that is if we can go to Gatlin next. I think is a good transition there. But he was in his late 30s, but he popped twice. Like as far as next best to Bolt, it's got to be him. But like,
okay, let's go to Gatlin.
I think
Gatlin popped.
I think he's an A. Like
you'd put Gatlin in. I was going to put Gatlin in C because, like, he got caught more than once.
He's got a couple of golds though. He has a couple of 9.7s. Like if it wasn't Bolt, in that time period, he's the next guy.
That is true, and he actually has taken a race or two off of Bolt in his life, which is not something to be taken lightly.
If he was running now, he would have multiple golds. Like,
all right, so we're saying A tier for Gatlin.
I would give Gatlin A tier, a very like A tier with an asterisk, but like
that might be. Oh, I mean, all right. Well, I mean, hey, we're giving it to Flojo. Who
you wanted to give him C? I'll meet you in the middle. You give him B.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm better with that. Honestly, let's meet. All right. Let's see. Why don't we move on to some middle distance? Jim Ryan.
A tier. I think
first high schooler. I mean, a high schooler to go under 4 minutes.
Yeah, and he had a silver at the Olympics, and there was a literal I think it was 40 or 50-year drought until Leo Manzano got a medal in 2012.
I'm torn between A and S tier. And on a dirt track with old shoes, sub 4.
Though, like, he's a terrible politician. Like, we don't have to get into all of that, but like, how his representation for the sport after did not do. Like, for me, like, I'd say A is probably as high as I can sell him.
All right, and I will say, yeah, I don't know much about his politics. And we won't, like I said, won't go too much into it, but all right, that is fair. Because like athletes who go into politics, and we'll get to another one when we get to Sebastian Coe, but that is true. Their political career, it is part of their overall persona. So, and we did say we are factoring that in. So, I'm good.
It's more like he did those things on the sport, but like, after that, he very much left the sport. Like, he's not a guy you see at, the Olympics, worlds, things of that nature, like watching.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Is like, what is their stewardship to the sport post running or post career?
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Like, I definitely agree on that, because what you do after the fact is still your career. Like,
yeah,
it is your representation. So I'm good with Jim Ryan in the A tier just for that reason alone. Okay, let's do some more. Frank Shorter.
B tier.
Really, Frank Shorter for B? Oh, all right.
He won the marathon, and he did get 5th in the 10K in I think it was either Munich or Montreal, and that's a great double. And he was the very prolific marathoner at the time. I mean, his influence on American distance running might be the best, but like, I don't know. I mean, even at that time, like it's more like there's more discussion about Pre and everything that he did. I mean, Shorter's the better runner, but
well, we're definitely going to get to Pre because what about Pre?
Nothing.
Oh, Oh no! Like, listen. All right, let's actually get to Pre. See, in my opinion, C tier. Most
Because he died?
most overhyped guy in the history of the sport.
Are you really giving him the Tupac treatment right now?
So
That's crazy.
I agree with you in the sense of like, you ask any high school runner, you know, they watch the Without Limits and the other one that Jared Leto was in.
Oh my God! Everybody sucks this guy off,
And they make him look like, you know, he was this like badass. You know, I'll never forget. You watched the one video where he's talking to Bowerman in the movie, and he's talking about strategy for the race. And he's like, "You're gonna run this, this, and this," and then he screams back at him like, "That's chicken shit." And I just can't like picture any like runner. I can't picture Prefontaine being that guy. I think it's one of those things that is definitely just like taking creative license. I would give him B still for what he had, you know, multiple records at Oregon. He was the top American distance runner at the time, and he does, you know, leave a legacy at like the best college for, you know.
He wasn't even the best in his era though. Like Jerry Lindgren dogged him regularly.
Yeah, but we're talking about legacy
The idea, though,
too.
you have to think
along
about
with times, like
Nike. It probably isn't like nearly the brand that they are without that base with Prefontaine.
like think about this pre shirts, like pre lit, like people still wear pre stuff. Like
I know. Even back when I was in high school in the freaking Stone Ages, everybody was sucking this guy off, and I'm just like, he was the third best in his era. Like Lindgren and Frank Shorter both dogged him. Like,
you don't have, you know, the racing shoes that you have now though without him. That's the person they trialed it on. Like, he's got to be at least B. Like, I wouldn't put him any higher than that because of his limitations at ability. But
And
like historical relevance wise, like,
fine, I'm good with that, but that means that I would put Jerry Lindgren in A tier then, because he was objectively better than Pre.
but he's kind of forgettable. Like, what was Jerry Lindgren first in? Did he ever win the Olympics? I don't think he did.
I don't think he got a gold, no, but that's because Frank Shorter was kind of dogged both of them back in like the late 70s.
I mean, Jerry Lindgren ran a different event, didn't he? Wasn't Jerry Lindgren a mile?
Jerry Lindgren did do the mile, but they both ran 5Ks, 10Ks.
Yeah, but Shorter was like a marathoner. Shorter wasn't ducking anybody.
He did 5 and 10Ks, I believe, and I believe he beat Pre and Lindgren.
You can't triple at the Olympics. Like, nobody has ever done. Like, the only person who's even attempted that is for the 15, 5, and 10. Like, and no one's ever won all three of those. Like, no one's ever gonna win 5, 10, and marathon. Like, I don't care how good you are.
So are we just going with Lindgren, Pre, and Shorter all B tier?
I think they're all B tier, unfortunately.
That really pains me to put Jerry there, just because he was better than Pre. He just didn't get the fame, but he was definitely better. Like, beyond
He should have tried
beyond the shadow
dying.
of a doubt.
He should have tried dying then.
Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a whole thing here. Like, you can go down a rabbit hole. That movie does kind of like glorify drunk driving, but we're not going to go there.
All right. Let's actually keep going with middle distance. Let's go to now the mile, the big rivalry between Steve Ovett and Sebastian Coe. I want to start with Steve Ovett.
This one's tough because he was so good.
He was good.
We're talking about like goats and like Ovett. You know, Ovett and Coe were both Britain, correct? Like,
yeah, they were both British, and they had a huge
he's
rivalry.
Not even the best, you know, he's not even the best from his own, you know, country. Like, he's got to kind of be C for me. I mean, good commentator. Like,
I was actually thinking the same thing, C tier. Like, he was good, and he took races off of Sebastian Coe, who was breaking world records at the time. But yeah, I don't know. Never. I mean, Sebastian Coe clearly like was the better of the two. And I will also go with Ovid kind of had like the advantage, like bigger stride length. Ovid was 6'1", Sebastian Coe 5'9", and similar weight. So yeah, I would go with Coe dogged him with less potential and still was the better athlete.
And Sebastian Coe I have very mixed feelings about, because as the
Okay.
president of track and field, terrible. Like what he's done for the sport. He was a great runner, and he's also like, probably the foundational person for like what interval training is now. So I don't think you can put him any lower than A, but like I wouldn't put him in S.
I was actually thinking this. You read my mind with A. That's kind of where I had him too, because again, like a terrible leadership figure for the sport. But when you consider how good of an athlete for the time, right? He was breaking records in the 1600 and 1800.
He ran on the 4x4. I mean, he was a beast.
He was an absolute beast. He and because Ovid was good, but we got to put Ovid in the seat just because like Sebastian Coe was clearly dominant in that era. And like you said, when it comes to the strides he made just in interval training, which again, like making the sport more accessible to more people. Yeah, just the only reason, I want to be clear, the only reason I wouldn't put him in S tier is because of his politics after the fact. Like he's just not a good president of the organization.
If he actually made track and field better after he retired, like from running itself, yeah, he's easy S tier, but
honestly, even if he just maintained track and field,
the only good thing he's done in his role is he's gotten rid of the little cues in qualifying rounds for the Olympics. And that's like, that's a good thing. But
all right. Fair enough. Let's go on to field. Let's do a couple of field events. So I've got Krauser.
That's S tier. No questions asked.
Best thrower of all time.
Best thrower of all time, to the point where he's like gotten so bored in the event, like of breaking his own record, he's created like new techniques to like try to just smash his own world records. Physical freak, probably could have played football or done another sport. Did
he have an embolism on a plane or something?
Also won the world, as George as he just said, had DVT, and then still competed 2 weeks later and won the world championships. Easy.
All right. Easy S tier. Duplantis.
S tier.
Just
people who have cleared 6 meters. There's been 4, outside of him, and he's done it about 20 times. In the last 4 years, he's broken the world record 7 times. Basically, if he's competing, like he's, because you don't have to start at the same height in the pole vault. Like you can, whatever you come in at is what you get 3 attempts at. But like if you clear the lower heights and then you go to a tie, and you miss, then the long and short is he's coming in at the heights that everybody else is bailing out at.
I will interject this, Jamie, for the sake of like making lists. There are too many people in S now. What I would say is you have to start differing on what is these people's cultural relevance outside of the sport.
Yeah, so why don't we do this? We'll finish the list that we have, and then we can like go from there, right? Because I agree, S tier doesn't mean anything if everybody's an S tier, and we are, and like we said, like being good definitely gets you into the dominance in the sport will definitely get you into the S tier. But like you said,
I would concede Krauser to A, and leave Mondo in S because pole vault is more watchable for
Than
a viewer than shot.
Than throwing.
Krauser is probably the better athlete, but like I think it's more fascinating to watch somebody jump like 6'2", than
No
throw
one
it
else thinks like
74
you.
feet.
Jamie, you're wrong. More people know who shot putters are.
So we put Mondo in A and Krauser in S.
S, yeah.
I guess we flipped that.
I helped.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Who should we do next? Why don't you pick one? Well, actually, while we're on field events, we also have Bruce Jenner.
This is tough for me, but like I think Bruce Jenner is S tier. Had the world record at the time,
Who's
was
Bruce
on the
Jenner?
Wheaties box.
Who's Bruce Jenner?
Caitlyn Jenner, whatever.
Caitlyn.
Yeah.
But at the time of this list
Yes, but
was at the time competing. All right, we'll go with Bruce Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. But like I think
that one for me, I have a hard time doing anything other than S tier.
But
I
like
mean,
you ask anybody, name a decathlete outside of people that watch track and field, they're gonna say
I gotta hand that one. That's a pretty easy S tier.
Also, if you want to just see like some crazy shit from that era, because didn't like make it illegal until like after his era, but you used to be allowed to do a front flip into the long jump, like while you were moving, and that was how he did it, and like he was really fucking good at it.
that's
Okay. Yeah, we'll watch that.
But I don't. You have Eaton on here. I think you have to put this too.
I have Ash and Eaton.
But you also like if we're talking relevancy outside of the sport, he kind of kept to himself. Was relatively like quiet dude. So he might also be. He's probably A if we're putting Krauser in A.
Just
He's
being
better.
really good, but not like.
Well, I mean, if we're putting
but
Mondo,
not a.
we got to flip.
Being
Mondo
really good, but not a household name. Well, I
You
did.
gotta flip Mondo and Krauser.
I kept Mondo in S tier, and I bumped Krauser down to A.
Oh, I think what we discussed is we flipped that actually.
So you want to put Krauser in S. They
Yeah.
really
He's
they
not
really
making-
should both. They really should both be in S.
But we got to draw the line somewhere. Like Mondo is the best right now, but like if we're going by what the layperson thinks is more watchable, my buddy to the left here is probably right. Like not what I think individually. It's also a lot harder to watch a full pole vault competition just because of the way track coverage is. But
God, who was it? Who was doing the triple, or was it triple or long this year at Worlds?
oh, Tar Davis.
Yeah, and they basically just showed her 3 attempts, and that was it.
Yeah, it's tough. Who are you going with next year?
Let's go to Hobbs Kessler.
Just for the sake of this list, great runner. He's on the come up. Might even be in contention for a medal this year. I think he got bronze at World Indoors. Broke Alan Webb's 1500 record. Went pro at like 18 years old, has ascended, but I still think respective to everybody else on here, I just put him in C tier, I think.
C, really, for the guy who he still has the high school record to get, or did Gary Martin get it?
No, Gary Martin didn't come close to that one. I mean, his high school records, I could maybe give him B, but like we're talking whole career. Or we like
Yeah, whole career,
it's just too hard to tell with that event, you know. And another person we're missing on here, unfortunately, is Centrowitz, because that's a really interesting one where you're talking like times versus medal count. But
I'll keep Hobbs in C tier for now.
He's a C tier right now that could end as an A, you know, when his career is
Yeah,
all-
because his career has just been there hasn't been enough of him. Like, I mean, what he did in high school was already amazing, but
Because like if you're just looking at the times, it's like sure, but like you look at Alan Webb when he ran 3:53, and he was right there with El Garouge and Lagat.
let's actually do Alan Webb too. I'm a pretty strong A tier in my opinion.
I have very mixed feelings about him because like he did that 3:53 is nuts. His 3:58 is nuts.
Doesn't he still have like the indoor record?
No. They're
Did someone
but, like,
finally
time-
take that one?
if you just look at times, it's hard because shoes, technology, everything has changed.
Has changed since then. Okay, fair enough.
But like Alan Webb's high school career was the best ever. Like I think that's pretty indisputable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
His
part
pro
because like
career-
he ran with pros in high school. I mean, that's pretty insane.
but
So
he
did Jim
has-
Ryan though.
He has no medals. I think he only made a championship final once. Like,
Gifted kid burnout.
but he was on Letterman. Like, you know,
Gifted kid burnout.
like his relevance to the sport.
His relevance is pretty high.
And he had
I'm having
like,
I'm having a
distinct-
hard time on anything less than A tier.
He has a distinct build. He did break the American record still at like which stood until last year.
I gotta go A tier. I think
I just feel like he peaked so hard in that like
he did peak early, but it was a really good peak, and he had a lot of exposure.
He had no NCAA titles either. Like
The dude was not built like a middle distance runner either.
He was
He was-
such a
you know-
he's such a mixed bag for me, like which is crazy. I feel like he's a B. I feel like he's a B tier.
B tier, really?
he would have thrived now with NIL.
Yeah.
He would have gotten a shoe deal.
He had his moments, but like outside of those moments, like he was pretty rough. I mean, like he could rip any event. Like he could just randomly run 10K, randomly run a 5K and crush
I
it.
know he had good range too. That's what I'm saying. I have such a hard time. I have such a hard time with B tier.
And, like,
I might have to overrule that one.
I think he was a workout horse though, and I think the legend around him was more than the actual production. Like,
We'll tell you what, he's going in the highest B. He's high B tier.
that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. He was S tier on his best days, and he was C tier on his worst days. Like,
If he had even one NCAA championship, I think we could easily put him in A.
yeah.
All right, I'll settle up with you guys.
The one
on
thing I will
high-
also-
on high B tier.
The one thing I will also use for my argument there is the race he broke the high school record was loaded, and that was one of the more impressive races you'll ever see a high schooler do, which almost makes me want to say A. But the race he broke the American record was in Belgium, and there was legit nobody in that race. Like, I
That's
feel like
actually more
you gotta beat people. You gotta beat people at some point.
Yeah, it can't just be running times. You got to beat people face to face. I agree. That's one of the things that makes track and field so great. So okay, so you got me sold on high B tier, just because like I would say best to sum it up. Glass cannon, like could wreck your shit on a good day, but kind of like someone we knew, wreck your shit on a good day, but on a bad day can get dogged. So
Yeah.
okay.
And we're comparing these people. We're comparing these people to their peers. It's like, did Bolt get dogged? Did just and in Price ever?
Bolt. Hey, listen, we Justin Gatlin even took a few off of Bolt back in early in their careers. I mean,
Yeah.
But like Bolt would lose in an event, and then he would come back and just cook everybody and break the world record.
All right. I'm good on that. Okay. Miss craps her pants herself, Greta Weitz.
I mean, that's a D. I don't know.
D tier? I'm more. She shit her pants and kept going, and she visited my middle school.
Yeah, but make a case.
That jumps her up to, and she won.
Somebody has to be D tier. Somebody has to be D tier.
I don't think it's her.
She's D tier for Dookie.
What give me something.
Crap your pants and still won.
Just because she's meme worthy doesn't mean she's how many people can name Greta Weiss even in the track community? I didn't know who that was.
That is true. She's not C tier.
She's got to be. Someone has to be D.
Jay,
we can't. She's not on the same
level.
We
all right, fine. Here, well, okay. Well, we'll just put Oscar Pistorius in the D tier for being an absolute shitbag. How about that?
If you murder someone, I agree. You should go in D tier.
If you kill someone, you're a douchebag.
I would contend if he didn't kill somebody, he's probably C tier. But yeah, D tier is fair. Fuck that guy.
D tier dog shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But and we'll bump my girl Greta up to at least C.
You got to put her in D. Somebody has to.
What is your obsession with this?
You can't compare her to Gary Lincoln.
I'm just saying that was it. I'm just saying it was a ballsy move to shit your pants and just keep going like nothing happened and still win.
She intended to run the race shitting her pants.
She didn't intend. Nobody intends to shit their pants. It just she was like, okay, I'm in the middle of 26-mile race here, and nature calls, but I'm not gonna slow down. So
don't a lot of people shit themselves during the marathon?
She's also just not the only one who's done that. Yeah, Shalane Flanagan.
Yeah, I mean,
at a porta potty in Boston.
That's boss. That's boss.
All right. D.
All
right. All right. Oh, you made the case. I mean, she's not well known. She was a flash in the pan. She never was the face of the sport. All right. I will reluctantly give you D tier on that one. All right, let's go to Sha'Carri.
B tier.
Yeah.
I think I think it's just too early. Her relevancy is S tier. Her ability is S tier, but she's got to win a couple more championships and break the American record before she can be in that S area.
I'm good with that. Let's see here. Did I bring? Oh, Allison Felix.
For longevity's sake, I might say A.
Longevity.
She has been doing it for a while.
I mean, she's retired, but
she did do it for a while.
Oh, you know what you know what I meant.
Most medals of any track and field athlete I think ever. She did win individual titles throughout the time. Never necessarily ran the fastest, but culturally relevant, just good figure. Easy A tier.
Yeah, I'm good with A tier. Okay. All right, Allison Felix. Let's go to here's a good one. Bernie Sanders, who a lot of people was a track and field athlete in high school. And dare I say, ran what did he run? 4:45 back when there were dirt tracks and shoes were
at Van Cortlandt Park.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous for the time.
Are you trying to put him in B tier? He's still D tier. Like, give him his flowers, but
Did you
I'm going at least just for like. I mean, he grew. He went
run
on.
Frank Portland?
No, I was injured actually for.
he's got to be D tier though. Like, he's just not.
He wasn't that good. Like he's not. We're comparing them to.
Yeah, I'm not saying, but not just athletic ability. Okay, like yes, like we know, like a 4:45 mile compared to professional athletes is not,
So give
I
me
mean,
something.
you.
Give me a reason like why he's not D tier.
Okay, like one, like decent politician following. Obviously, he only ran in high school. He never even ran in college. But I'm saying, like, for a guy who did track and field recreationally, right, to run a 4:45 mile on a dirt track with flats during, in the pre-World War II era, which that equates to what, like a 4:30 something today.
Probably. I mean, but like a lot of people run 4:30. Like,
But you got to.
So I'm
this.
comparing him to other people. I'm comparing him to an average high school senior in the 1940s.
But
I'm not comparing.
You prefaced this with a lot of people don't know, but he did run track. So if a lot of people don't know, he's not even meeting the bar of cultural relevance.
A lot of people didn't know he ran track, but a lot of people know who he is.
Yeah, but like not for track. Like, Michael Jordan was a baseball player then, like.
Yeah, we're really gonna do Bernie like that and dump him in the D tier.
if we're starting to go with these people, like I put Bernie in D, but I put John Anderson in C. Like John Anderson was not a good high jumper, but like he is one of the only people in the industry that actually like in the entertainment industry that actually cares, about cross country, track and field. And which is he was a high jumper. Like,
how about we dump them both in C?
Fair.
I'm not doing Bernie like that. I don't even agree with a lot of his politics, but I will.
He's like a C minus, but
I'll put him in low C tier.
He passes, but I still think that's crazy that he's in the same category as Hobbs Kessler and Gary Lundgren.
But again, we're talking about who we're not saying like if obviously Bernie Sanders gets wrecked against Hobbs Kessler, but by like 45 seconds. But we're talking about like them versus who they competed against, if that makes sense.
All right, a video for another day is we got to make like relays out of these
Oh shit, that would be great. Like you have like
you
John
have to have
Anderson.
somebody from like you have to have a S, like an A, a B, a C, and then like the D's can be the coaches. But all right, who you got next?
Who we got next? Okay, let's move on to Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who actually is FloJo's sister-in-law.
That's a for me.
That is probably A, yeah. I mean, again, super consistency, and like you said, still relevant now. Kind of just like because nobody else got to be famous in the time of FloJo.
Still has the American record in the heptathlon. Her husband coaches every good sprinter currently. She advises all the multi-offense people. Still a huge voice in the sport. That's an easy A. I don't think she has the world record anymore, though. So that's the only reason I can't put her in S.
Okay. Fair enough. Alice Brown, FloJo's teammate. I would go with B tier. Very good, but again, completely overshadowed in that era.
I kind of want to put her in
B tier.
I want to put her in C just because I don't even know. I didn't even know who that was before you put it on the list.
She's on a world record 4x100 team.
And so are a lot of people. Do you know who Warren Weir is? What relay was he on? No, he was on Jamaica's 4x.
I have absolutely no clue who that is.
That's the thing about relays. When you have like somebody that can run like 9.4, like they can make up for somebody that runs like 10 flat.
All right, Alice Brown in the C tier then.
But like for your time, like good for you, Alice Brown. Like wear that medal proudly.
Good for you, Alice Brown.
Good for you, Alice Brown. Gold star. Gold star. All right, Cheserek.
Cheserek's like really interesting because like unreal high school career. I mean, like still lost some races to Verspeakis. Easily the best like collegiate, track like long distance, middle distance runner like ever. And then he's like fizzled out since then. Like the issue of citizenship has really like destroyed his career. I'd put him in. I feel like you have to put him in B tier just because of his collegiate success, but like I almost want to put him in C because of how much he's fallen off. But
wow, this list is like getting like pretty even.
yeah, I feel like he's got to be B though. Like I just have all these vivid memories of every NCAA championship, him just running away from people. And
did you ever actually get to race Cheserek?
The only thing I can say about how good he was at the time that he did it was the best guy in our section who absolutely like destroyed me, right? Like the guy like everybody wanted to beat. He ran an invitational race against him at the Armory, and we're all there watching him, and Cheserek like double lapped the guy.
Yeah, no, Cheserek like destroyed everybody in high
just
school.
For the lore, I think just for the lore, he's got to be B. But like reality wise, he's closer to a C than a B. Like he's a B minus.
I'm gonna keep him in B just because, like you said, the lore is part of it, and I mean he was pretty ridiculous. So. All right. Truna Shababa. Also a pretty ridiculous and dominant athlete.
I thought you actually had the other Dababa, the miler Dababa, because I was going to talk.
No, I have the 5 and 10K Dababa.
Trunish Dababa is just like you don't really think about her when you think about goats, but like she was up there for a time period. She's another B for me, just because like you don't think about her, but like she could also be like A or an S tier on somebody else's list.
She was so good.
You know what though? I think you put her on B, and you kind of have to move Ches down to C. Like I can't have her and Ches the same.
Well, no, she's still above Ches here. Ches is B. She's A.
But like she's just not like memorable, and her records are broken. Like I remember because I watched, but
so we'll bump her to B and bump.
You might not even be the best in her own family, depending on how you feel about her.
Oh yeah, because her sister was a more of a like shorter distance, but still a mid distance. Yeah,
but like more than likely got popped.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that makes sense. Cheserek in the C, and then she's in the B.
Fair. Let's see. Ooh, Roger Bannister, first man to ever go sub 4 when doctors said it was physically impossible.
I think you can't really go any lower than A. I think you have to give A just for historical
major accomplishment there. And like what happened, 50 people did it the year that he did it.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, and I would say this is that Roger Bannister is someone who's known by people who don't follow the sport know who Roger Bannister is.
That is very true. Roger Bannister, I think he's knighted, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sir Roger.
Sir Roger Bannister.
That's correct.
I think did a lot with like.
So is Mo Farah, by the way.
Like physiology and stuff like that, and more like medical, like writing wise too. Like just pioneer for the sport. You give him his flowers.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't be an S.
You need the times too.
You need to he would have needed to like win a couple Olympic medals or something.
I'm pretty good with Roger Bannister in the A tier. Okay. Let's see. Who are we going to next? Let's go to Carl Lewis.
God, I just
He has all the cultural relevance.
he's got all the cultural relevance.
He's got a lot of culture.
He's got medals. He beat
He sang the national anthem at that one.
that Ben Johnson race is super iconic. I think he's an A though. I can't give him S. I like personally, like he just rubs me the wrong way.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Parker Belby.
Okay. Listen.
He has these he has this expectation for what the long jump should be, and like it's not like living up to that currently. But it's also like you're a coach, like you coach sprinters and long jumpers, and
Is he still in Houston?
like you could be more involved. He is still at Houston, yeah. I don't know. I can't put him in S.
I'm actually I was thinking A tier for Carl Lewis too.
And I mean,
Okay.
he was also duking it out against Powell or whoever the world record holder at the
Leroy Burrell.
and Leroy Burrell,
Oh, that's a guy we can put.
Maurice Green, Michael Johnson, S tier,
Really?
Golden
S
Spike,
tier?
world record
yeah.
holder in the 200 and 400. I don't think you're ever going to see that again.
People still know who he is.
Yeah, he's big voice in the sport. Like
Still does commentating.
he's the guy who like just airs out all his criticisms, and they're all like spot on. But the Golden Spikes is the thing that stands out for me.
All right, S tier. I won't fight you on that one. Let's do a good one. Let's go to your girl, Parker Valby. Let's go to Parker Valby. Yes,
I think if we're putting Cheserek in C, we got to put her in C. Like she could go on to be a B or an A. American like she is the future of American distance running, and the thing that drives me crazy is that the fact that she says she runs like 30 miles a week and like gaslights reporters, because there's just no way you're cross training like 7-8 hours a week to do the things that she's doing. Like her 10K is 1 minute and 10 seconds, faster than my college PR. Her 5K is like 20 seconds faster than my college PR. And I ran 80, 90 miles a week. She says she runs 30
Maybe
and
that
then
was the issue.
is on the elliptical.
Maybe that was the
As
issue.
George says, maybe that is the issue. But like, she is going to probably be the next big American distance runner. And honestly, I'll give her the credit of like gaslighting running reporters is really funny, because a lot of them are really just objectively terrible.
And gullible.
all right, C tier it is. C tier it is. Houlihan.
I can't wait to put this on no context.
Houlihan is another interesting one, because she's got the American record. She was the closest thing we had to. Oh, it's also just thinking of people competing for medals and stuff. Shame we didn't put Jenny Simpson on here, but like, she's kind of just respective to everybody else, like not having medals, and all of her American records have been broken. Like, I do think she's got to be D. Someone's got to be D.
That's harsh, but
As
yeah,
much of
not a lot of her records are relevant
if
anymore.
she can come back from her suspension next year and like come back like swinging, like maybe she's back up in like the B or the A tier. Like she was the elite distance runner, and I really have no idea if she cheated or not. Because the only thing I would contend is a lot of these athletes more recently are getting popped for whereabouts failures. Like, and you figure they get popped for the whereabouts failures because they're cheating, and they would rather get 2 years versus 4. So like, why would she not just take a whereabouts failure over testing positive?
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Well, for that, then I will actually probably put Tyson Gay in D tier.
I think you put him in C because he's like third or fourth fastest 100-meter runner ever. Maybe he's fifth. I think he still has the 100 American record. I could be wrong, but
he in the early days of his career did take a few off of Bolt too. So
yeah.
All right, I'm good with C. I'm good with C, and honestly, like this list is starting to look like a bell curve. So I mean, I think it's
if
looking.
you were in a
pretty-
race and
pretty
Usain
fair.
Bolt, if you were in a race and Usain Bolt had to think about you at all, like you were pretty good. Like I don't think the Kenyans were really thinking about like Shelby Houlihan in the 1500. Like I just like
That's
you
fair.
know, like she
That's valid. That's valid.
she forced herself in there to her credit. Like she just barely missed a medal. Like, but Tyson Gay was a more consistent thing despite the cheating. So I think he's got to be a level up from her, if not two. But I think C's fair.
All right, let's keep going with some sprinters. We got Noah Lyle. Noah A tier.
A tier.
That's a young A tier.
He will be an S tier, but he's got to do it a little bit longer, I think.
And I don't know a lot of these newer guys that well. I just know he's like tearing it up currently.
He broke Michael Johnson's 200 record.
He's going to triple this summer.
He's got the he won the triple at Worlds last year. The only thing he doesn't have yet is an Olympic medal. I mean, an Olympic gold. He kind of fumbled the bag in Tokyo. So,
Sad.
but he's like the most like relevant person now. But it just shows you why Bolt is S tier because like he wants to be Bolt and does what Bolt does, but like you can't really replicate it.
Well, you got to break records.
All right. Let's see then. Mo Farah.
B tier, I think.
Oh.
I think like he like if you ask somebody who like a purist in the sport, I think they say B tier. If you ask like somebody who is just looking at like scoreboard, like you could argue A tier.
He has the cultural relevance, though.
But then you also have his implication to like the Oregon Project, and like he was not that good before he joined them, and then he became like a world beater. But like he also doesn't really have like the times of, you know, the people who are putting in the S tier. I'd say B.
I'm gonna leave him in B. I'm gonna leave him in B. Let's see, who should we do next? We're getting through the list pretty good here. Let's see. Oh, Gary Martin.
What do you want? Where do you want to put Gary Martin?
Okay, so
You're
Gary
like
Martin,
the biggest Gary Martin fan I've ever met.
I mean, dude, the guy's just goofy looking and wrecks everybody. There's something endearing about Gary Martin.
Gary Martin is unfortunately a D tier. I like that.
What? D tier? Really? Gary Martin?
You're comparing him to everybody else on this list. Like Gary Martin didn't even finish. Like he tripped this year, but like he finished 10th. You know, in the mile indoors. Like he hasn't won any NCAA championships yet. He might. Like he's a good solid like distance runner, and his 3:57 in high school was awesome.
You almost gave him a hard.
But
with
like,
no rabbit, with no pacer, only person. That's not easy to do.
it's not
It's not
easy to do. But look at the people like we're talking about here. Like Shelby Houlihan barely missed like a world championship medal in the deepest event, and we're putting her in D tier.
We're really giving.
Gary
We're really gonna do Gary like that.
Gary is also a writer and a podcaster for Sidious Mag, and he does an awesome job. I give him his
For
credit.
that, we got to give it at least C.
I think like I just like we're gonna put him in the same category as Cheserek. Like Cheserek was like the most dominant like collegiate runner ever. Like John Anderson, we're putting there from like
For cultural relevance.
Yeah.
Hey, we got John 5 in the building. What's up? And also let me call Uncle Guns. We're ranking in this ancient. Yes. Appreciate that, Guns. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we got to put him deep though. I like him. I'm a fan of what he does, but he's just
Sorry right now.
like Parker Valby is substantially, better than Gary Martin, unfortunately.
Yes, appreciate that, John. Thank you, good sir, and welcome. That one hurts.
I like him too. It doesn't feel good, but I think if Gary Martin watched this though, he would probably agree. With
You think Gary Martin would agree with him being in D tier?
I'm gonna tweet this at him when we're done.
Yes, to him
Is Usain Bolt? I thought Usain Bolt retired. He's in his music
Usain
career.
Bolt is 37 years old. Yes,
I was gonna
he's
say-
retired for 7 years now.
Hey, Shelby Ann Fraser. What you said earlier? Can I tell everybody the joke you said earlier? Because it was pretty savage. I'm not gonna lie.
What did I say?
You were like, Shelby Ann Fraser at 37 is still getting medals. At 38, FloJo was, not alive anymore.
That's not like a
Fucked
joke.
up.
That's a real thing.
That's legitimate.
Fucked up.
I wasn't being funny. I was like, that's how long.
I mean, that is like a reason why we put Shelly Ann in S tier, because that is actually very ridiculous.
Most
To be
sprinters,
still winning at 37, that's ancient for a sprinter.
most sprinters have lost their touch at like 30. Like you don't do
Right.
that unless
It's
you're
not-
Jacqueline Moore. But let's keep going.
It's insane. By the way, I saw Usain Bolt's high school in Jamaica, which was pretty dope.
No, that's neat.
Who are we going to next?
Let's go to Emma Coburn.
For the context of this list, she's just got to be C. As much as I think like you could make the argument that like she's an A, but like for that outside of that one world championship, she gets gold and then she got a Olympic silver, and her dominance in America is good, but like
She still hasn't cashed in internationally.
She was that ridiculous steepler, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I think like the right person could argue B.
We can't bump her up because she does do the most fun event.
It's hard
Hold
for me.
on. Let's actually go to this comment though. Articles are saying Usain Bolt wants to come back, but I doubt it.
Those aren't like real though. It's like,
I mean, look, even at 37 years old, if he did come back, I'm sure he'd still be. I don't know if he'd be getting gold, but he'd still be tearing it up. Like,
I don't think so. I think you take 7-year hiatus. Like these guys are too good now.
well, okay, yeah. I mean, taking that much time off, but I'm just saying the point being,
Like
he's still.
so.
He'd still be damn good. It's like Mike Tyson is gonna fight again, and I know it's like gonna be put on, but it's still Mike Tyson.
But Emma Coburn, like, unfortunately for this list, I think, like, given where these people, like, respectively, like, significantly more on her career than, like, Parker Valby, but we're prognosticating, like, the future. I mean, like, I wouldn't feel terrible about putting Coburn in B, but I think C is, unfortunately, where she'll have to be.
I mean, this is more. You definitely know her better than I do, so I will take your word on it.
You know what?
And I'll go C tier.
We put Alan Webb in B.
Yeah, we got Alan Webb as high B.
All right, I think we put Coburn in B then. Actually, she does have a gold and a silver, I think, and she doesn't have the American record anymore. But like her dominance, like she's pretty marketable.
Yeah, I mean, like, I also give her big ups for like for being like the only steepler we have on this because how do I put it? Like running a cool event, it's like winning a Super Smash Brothers tournament with like a mid tier character just because it's sick, right? Like,
Yeah. 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 If you knew her enough to Google her for the thing, so
no, I mean, I knew who she is. I actually watched her compete not that long ago, like maybe last year.
right, right.
This guy said he would 5-stock you, by the way.
Who's
Oh.
saying they're gonna 5-star in what, in Ultimate?
No,
I just
Melee.
got the
In Melee.
Oh man, I was gonna say, well, I'm very rusty in Melee, but I actually just started playing Ultimate.
We got a Wii. That's why. Well, we stole it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so do you guys have Melee?
No, I got Brawl.
So that doesn't help because
It's
Brawl
the
is Brawl.
conversation we can do off stream in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I
And
was gonna say, and I'm not even good at Ultimate yet.
Who you got next?
Okay, let's actually go to Bernard Lagat. What's you, Lagat?
Lagat is like a really interesting, you could ask like 5 different people like who run distance what they think, and they might all tell you different things. I would put him in the A tier.
He had
doesn't have
relevance
any
outside the sport too.
relevance, all around nice guy.
Didn't he have like a 10-year career too?
He competed. He made the Olympics at like 42, and he almost.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He had ridiculous longevity,
but he doesn't have any Olympic gold. This is where I can't put him in S. But he did have one of the more impressive doubles, the longevity. Just how people like talk about him in the sport. But
class act, yeah.
Like he's my goat for like American distance runners, but that's a whole other conversation. A tier is where he hangs out.
I'm good with A tier. Okay, Kip Keeter.
I think he's B. I don't think he has enough relevance outside of we know
he ran a sick 800 though.
We know who that is because we were, distance runners, but I don't think there's enough outside of there. Like you can put Coburn in there because of the marketability, like did the ESPN body issue, et cetera, et cetera. Like what outside of breaking the 800 world record, like what else can we say about Kip Keeter?
All right. Kip Keeter for B tier. All right. Who do you want to do next?
On here, we could say A or S tier, but
who?
Radisha.
No,
the 800 world record, but he's not on here.
Yeah, and we probably missed a few, so you guys can
but
let us know in the comments who we missed. All right. I mean, we can't rank every. Yeah. We can't rank every track and field athlete who ever existed back to the days of ancient Greece. Like, I guess Hercules was pretty good, but he had a sick shot put. Okay, let's go to. I can't see who this is because their head's cut off. Oh, this might be Al Joyner. Al Joyner might be D tier.
I don't know who that is actually.
It's Flojo's husband, and he was Flojo's coach. He did make several Olympic runs himself, but he was not like anything special. He was a good dude, but not a great runner.
Yeah.
I would probably have to put Al Joyner in D tier. Kipchoge.
S tier.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty,
hard to argue that.
To argue, broke 2 hours, did all that stuff that
relevance.
Brought relevance to the marathon again.
Fair enough.
Yeah, People who
And you
drink bottled
talk
water.
longevity too, like
Longevity.
he was
God damn it.
longevity, whatever. Like he was competing at the Olympics when he was like 18 years old, and he's still running. And he's like in his 40s.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty. You don't even got to sell me on that one. That one's pretty easy. McGlocks.
S tier, begrudgingly, but
Okay,
Just-
what do you not like about McLaughlin?
she's just kind of boring. Like, like I don't like.
What was a dominant hurdler?
Like she's just she's marketable because of like
She's like a Target ad.
yeah, like she's marketable because of how good she is. Like you can't deny that like she is the most like dominant force in like track and field right now. Like she split a 47, and that's not even her main event. Like
That's pretty ridiculous. A 47. Wait, is that 47 hurdles?
no, but
I was like, what?
she did run
Like,
50 point in the 400 hurdles. Most
Holy
most
shit.
people can't run that for a 400. Like good,
No, I cannot run that for a 400.
good high school male sprinters are not running.
Cannot run that for a 4. Right. That's pretty ridiculous. Okay, we gotta. Yeah, all right. I can see S tier for that. Thomas, I'm drawing a blank here. What's his name? Thomas.
We'll do Grant Holloway in the meantime. Grant Holloway to me is A. Has the potential for S. Like he should break the world record in the hurdles, and he should get the Olympic gold this year. Those are the only two things his career is like missing.
I don't know him, so I'll just take your word for it. I think
Well,
that was a little after my time or of
he
watching anyway.
could do every event at Florida and has not lost a 60-meter hurdles since he was like 17 years old. Has the world record in that. Has a top 5 time, I think, in the 110 hurdles. And the only race he's lost in that since he's become a pro is the Olympics. And he's won every other like event. So he's about as good as it gets. Really marketable. Could have been a football player.
Tommy Smith.
Hard to argue that logic. I'm good with leaving him at A tier.
And then Tommy
Again,
Smith.
like I said, I don't know him that well, but
Then Tommy Smith.
okay. Yeah. So Tommy Smith is going to be the last person we rank here. How do we feel about Thomas Smith? Again, not one that I know very well. He was in like the 80s, right?
60s.
What he's doing in that picture is he's doing a Black Power salute in the middle of like the MLK riots. Like it was pretty culturally relevant at that time. A lot of people were super mad he did that. He ran a 19.8 200 at that Olympics. That's
Oh,
why
a 19.8. Whoa.
I think we put him in A. It's cultural relevancy. How many people have that poster? Still.
people who don't.
I have seen the poster. I have
Yeah,
seen
you see
the
that
poster.
you see that poster around. Like if you go to a college dorm, like whatever. Like I wish I knew more about it.
Right. Kind of like
Wow.
And I would actually put him there because, like we said, right, everybody has a freaking Prefontaine poster and the shirts, but in reality, Steve Prefontaine was like a B tier athlete. Like he was okay. He was definitely above average, but like not the best, by far not the best in his era.
And Smith produced and then also put his life on the line to,
Yeah, he got a lot of
do
death
that
threats after.
protest. Like that was not not a safe thing
He
to
also
do.
played for the Bengals.
And he played for the Bengals.
I did not know that.
All right.
Oh, I'm learning a lot. So that is everybody we had on the list. We have a lot of A tier, a lot of B, and then only a few people got the shaft for the D tier. But I think you convinced me on Gary Martin.
That's what I think we should
That,
close
like-
this out with. Like, what's the one you disagree with the most?
Gary. Martin.
Okay. Well, so you agree that Gary Martin doesn't belong in D tier?
No, I'm saying which is the one you think like is that really the one you feel the strongest about? Like that is like wrong. Like I
Are
don't
you gonna die on that hill?
Let's see. All right. So we got Pistorius in D tier, Greta Weitz, Calhoun.
You know what? Now
Okay.
that I think about it,
We're really Gary Martin. We're really putting Gary Martin with
A murderer?
Greta Weitz. Like he's a lot more known.
well, and also I feel bad now that I'm saying it out loud that we put Gary Martin and Oscar Pistorius in the same category because it does make it seem like he's a bad person, but he's actually very good.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many good things about Gary Martin. Just comparatively to everybody else on this list, like his accomplishment. It's crazy. He ran a sub-4 with no pacer in high school. Like that's D
He
tier.
didn't-
And
He
that's-
didn't kill anyone. He didn't
I
kill
just
anyone.
don't see it like I need to like see him like do more. Like
How
can he
about-
make a world team? Like
He didn't. He
yeah,
doesn't.
maybe, but like
He didn't. We have three distinct criteria here, and that's like times, performances at races, and then also cultural relevance. And I don't think Gary Martin met the grade on any of those.
he's like a 3 on all of those, like out of like 10. Like I don't. And like we have Shelby
All right.
Houlihan in that category.
You can
like,
see his heart break.
Shelby Houlihan is at least like a 7 in like one of those categories, and then she's like a 1 in one of the others. But like her total number is like still significantly higher than his.
All right, D tier for Gary Martin. All right.
I think the one I disagree with the most is Mondo, but like I get it. I get it.
In what way?
I'm sorry, Mondo.
Like Mondo should be higher.
It should be an S, but
The thing is, if you ask people who haven't followed the sport, what do they think of Mondo? You're not going to get a lot of people who even know who that is. At least Krauser has cultural relevance because like he routinely shows up on Barstool pages because he just will throw shit.
I just don't know what you want Mondo to do. Get a blood clot and then like
I-
fucking jump like 6'3",
honest to God, there is an argument to be made that like Pre's death kind of launched him into a new stratosphere of fame because if he's alive, what does he perform at? He's like the third best guy at that point. Like, the movie doesn't get made. He develops the shoes, like he helps develop the shoes, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's gonna win anything of relevance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think overall though, I'd give this list like B plus, A minus.
We would actually probably need to like do like a S plus.
I think you need a hell tier too. I feel bad putting Oscar Pistorius and Gary Martin in the same category.
Yeah, you know what? We are going to move Oscar Pistorius to the low end of D tier, and we're actually going to put Gary Martin as the boss of the D tier.
You're gonna put him ahead of Shelby Houlihan? Oh my god!
I'm really putting Gary Martin ahead of Shelby Houlihan and Greta Weitz, and then I feel so bad putting Al Joyner, actually, who's a really nice dude, next to Oscar Pistorius. Because Al Joyner wasn't even bad. It's crazy how we're putting people like Al Joyner, Shelby Houlihan, and Gary Martin all in D tier, who are all actually like very good in their time, but they're just like not compared to everybody.
I'm gonna send you a video of Shelby Houlihan like kicking at the end of the race, and then send you a video of Gary Martin kicking at the end of the race. I think you need to see that, like, and then we can come back to that part. But
That's fair.
I can't. Okay. I mean, let's actually send me that because I actually do kind of want to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
Gary Martin is very, very good. He will be he will probably be on a world team at some point. I hope, but like, it's different.
All right, I'm good. I'm good with Gary Martin being boss of the D tier, though. And then S tier, we've got Jesse Owens as the boss of the S tier. Do
I don't think
we?
anybody's gonna disagree with that.
Yeah.
Then Bolt. Then
Yeah.
then I know you're gonna tell me Shelly Ann above Flo.
I think like 99% of people will tell you that, but you do you. It's your list.
Pretty sure it's a group effort, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the point of a tier list is we all come to a consensus and there's
This would be cool for baseball players.
Oh, we should do that one down the road because I've already noticed that this stream is getting no views compared to other videos because I think like a lot of people just don't care about track and field. But
Yes.
like I kind of expected that, but I still screw everybody. It's my channel. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So we're making this list. But listen, if you really the consistency is there. She is 37. That is another one that breaks my heart, but I think you have actually sold me on that.
And I think you got to put Mondo.
But with the caveat, the consistency, the longevity is all there. And I will also say too, the other big thing to note with Shelly Ann Fraser Price is she is 5 foot even, 115 pounds. So for her to run a 10.6 with like no stride length, like that top speed actually has to be pretty crazy because Flo was 5'7", 145 pounds. So when you consider that, and then there is the steroid question.
I think you got to put Mondo at the top of the A.
Top of A, and then followed by like Jim Ryan, Sebastian Coe, Ashton Eaton, Allison Felix, Jackie Kiersey Joyner, Roger Bannister, Carl Lewis, Noah Lyle, Bernard Lagat, what's his face? Grant
Holloway.
Damn it. Grant Holloway and Thomas Smith. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this B gets a little gritty. You got to put.
Where is this streaming, by the way?
This is on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
I think I
YouTube.
think Shikari is the top of that B list. I do.
Better than Allen.
Yeah. I mean, she has the collegiate record in the 100. Like, she's coming for the American record. She's got the medals. Like, I think Gatlin's probably 2. And then
I got a hard time putting him above Allen. I can see it with.
I put Mo Farah above Allen Webb. Like,
God, we're really gonna put Allen Webb next to Frank Shorter and Prefontaine.
Mo Farah has 4 Olympic golds. Like, Allen Webb has none.
I can live with that, but then we probably are putting Pre and Frank Shorter below Ababa and Coburn.
I think the Baba could be ahead of Allen too. I mean, relevance wise probably not, but
I put Baba behind Allen, but above Shorter, Lindgren, and Pre. Okay, this is actually pretty crazy because we look like this was not even done intentionally, but we've got in the dead middle of B tier Frank Shorter, Prefontaine, and Lindgren. But I'm putting Lindgren actually above. I'm putting Lindgren ahead of Pre.
That's fair.
And then Coburn, and I actually put Kip Keeter ahead of Coburn too.
That's fair.
See, this is where the tier list gets good because we know what tier everybody goes in, but then it'd be where do they rank within that tier?
Yeah.
So this is looking pretty accurate. Okay, this C tier should actually be. We already settled D tier. That like Oscar Pistorius is just the most dog shit person on this list. So C tier. This one should be really interesting.
I don't know. I think maybe
I think John Anderson has to go at the
John
10 list.
Anderson is probably at the back. Yeah.
And Bernie Sanders. Sorry, Bernie.
I
okay,
think
Bernie Sanders is there.
Cheserek is probably first, I guess.
Above Steve Ovett.
I maybe yeah.
This is going to be actually, and actually I got to put Alice Brown actually just above Anderson and Sanders too. I got to move Alice Brown down that one too. Get John Anderson out of here. Yeah, well, you want to tell him why we added John Anderson in the first place?
I mean, he was a track and field athlete, and he's the only one at ESPN who seems to care about it. It's kind of a shame he's retired.
Yeah, we threw him in for cultural reference. Like, obviously, he was by no means an elite track and field runner. You know what I do have a problem with though is we have John Anderson in the C tier, and we have Gary Martin in the D tier.
I love Gary Martin as much as the next guy. We have Shelby Houlihan in the D tier.
We might. I actually think we have to move John Anderson to. This is the only change I'm going to make. I think we have to move John Anderson to the D tier. Then.
All right, but we got to put him ahead of Shelby Houlihan if he's going to be in the D tier.
All right.
I almost think you have to put him ahead of Gary Martin. Like,
no. John Anderson cannot be better than Gary Martin. This is getting ridiculous.
I think you might need to change your screen name to Gary Martin Lover, because I've never seen anyone go this hard for someone like Gary Martin.
Gushing for Gary Martin. Like, I don't even think Gary Martin was the best high school miler in the year
in history. No, I mean, Jim Ryan was still more impressive for what he did, but I'm saying
the year Gary Martin was in high school, I don't think he had the fastest mile time at the end of the year. I'll have to look it up and get back to you when we're done with this, but he was the first one to break 4 that year, and he did it without a pacer, as you said. But he also didn't. I don't think he won New Balance Nationals either.
We also got to put Bernie, I think, down to D tier too.
Unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure Gary Martin was the same year as Colin Salmon, who ran 356 to his 357.
I
who's nowhere on this list.
I haven't heard an argument for Gary Martin meeting any of the criteria that we've named.
There's multiple high schools.
This guy, look, Nick Labasco here agrees. G Martin 5 ever, not even 4 ever, 5 ever, 5 ever.
He looks like gawky, and he did it. But there are multiple people who didn't look gawky who did it. They're better.
Okay, so hear me out here. I kept Gary Martin in D, but I moved John Anderson and Bernie Sanders just below Al Joyner, but above Pistorius, because obviously Pistorius is D tier dog shit.
This is nuts, but okay.
There needs to be.
I really like your order in C. I think that is very reasonable. Maybe you could put Ovid ahead of Cheserek. Maybe not. It's just hard for me to get out of my mind what he did in college, but Hobbs right ahead of Valby makes sense, and yeah, I think you got a pretty solid list here.
All right, so are we all satisfied with this list now?
I think that's about as good as it's gonna get.
All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and download this because
It's
yeah,
hilarious.
and we can. This is a pretty hilarious tier list. I'm not going to lie.
Can you send me that?
I'm gonna send that to my cross country team.
I feel like this is the result of like an hour and a half of
There are
Like,
multiple
this is
meme
the
pages that
concept.
would take this too.
Yeah, we're gonna send this to
No context.
some flow tracks. I'm gonna send it to Gary Martin.
He's like, why am I in the D tier?
Why am I here?
But well, didn't you say, we should actually do some kind of like bet. Like, do you really think Gary Martin would agree with being in the D tier?
I have no idea.
On this-
I want to try to find out, but okay, I'm legit gonna send him a message on fucking Instagram or something. It's not like it's not like it's like you're emailing like a celebrity, or sliding to celebrities DM. Like, he's gonna see it. Like, is he gonna respond? I have no idea.
We could
Gary, settle this for us real quick. Do you think on this list here that you'd be in the D tier, like even on the high end of D tier?
Do you think you belong in the same group as Oscar Pistorius?
And Bernie Sanders and John Anderson, apparently.
See, I think the better way to look at D tier though is like kind of the more unserious. Like, don't get me wrong, the entire thing is unserious, but like the D tier is deeply unserious. Like, people you don't even necessarily associate with the sport. Like, they're famous for other reasons.
Right. Just because they've had like a mild like brush in with the
I can't
sport. Our Uncle Gun says,
emphasize this enough. Gary
good
Martin in 4 years could potentially make it like an Olympic team, and he might have like multiple NCAA championships, but like he hasn't done it yet.
oh, Nick Labasco says hard agree. And Uncle Gun says a strongman champion tier list would be cool but short.
How would
Yeah.
I just, how many of them could
That
Brian Shaw? Just put
Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, Hafthor Bjornsson. What's it? Oh, Franco. No, not. Well, Ronnie Coleman was a bodybuilder, but he actually started training strongman.
Ronnie from
Franco.
Jersey Shore.
You know who was, not to like take us like way off topic, but you know who was a ridiculous strongman competitor for his size? Franco Colombo.
Yeah,
That's true.
Franco Colombo was kind of ridiculous.
I think the next one we do is baseball players would be good.
That is gonna be wild, actually, just given the era that we grew up in. And I know so like that's the problem, is I know so little about like the modern like the modern game, because I stopped watching maybe like 6 years ago. So I know I know like Aaron Judge, I know like Ohtani.
Did you miss the Sox winning World Series then?
You did.
You just gave up
When-
before that?
When was their last World Series?
2018.
Yeah.
I couldn't have even told you that. I haven't. Like I said, I haven't watched baseball in the better part of 10 years. I mean, I know like some players, and I went to I think we went to a Mets game like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
With Colombo was a beast, even Arnold. And yeah, actually, Arnold will actually tell you that Colombo like kept him going a lot of times.
Honestly, what
Stallone too.
You could do to make it easier than just doing baseball is like if you just do a list with like athletes in general.
I think that's going to be too broad, though. I think that's going to be, because like this list was hard enough to make. Like we just did I mean, there's that would take like hours.
We excluded people from this. Think about that.
Yeah.
And think about how many people we just didn't put in here, because then we'd be here all night.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, Kayla. We're pouring one out.
Oh yeah, pour one out for the homie.
I'm sorry, Kelvin. Too soon. Too soon.
That's crazy.
So So our next one we will rank. We'll do a tier list for baseball players.
Oh, let's do melee characters too.
We could do. I would do a melee. Well, okay. I mean, I think like the melee tier list is pretty widely accepted at this point. I mean,
Yeah, but
Hungry
no,
Box alone
We're
pops.
talking about our opinions, not like just stats wise.
Yeah, but I mean, so
Like,
it comes to a
first-
point though where there has to be results to like you're not going to make the case that like Yoshi is S tier, right? Because he's
Yoshi
won
is-
2
oh
majors
Oh my
like
God,
ever.
you guys are so off topic. It's not.
Yoshi is B tier.
In reality, more like C or D, but
I think it's probably a good place to stop because we're at 90 minutes.
yeah, I would agree. But all right, I'll see you guys for the next one. We will do ranking baseball players. Yeah, we'll do it
Are you
too.
able to
We'll
put
even
a,
do
are
it.
you able to like put a poll on your page? Like you should like put a poll, like have people rank the tier list.
It's not bad.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I can have a vote. I think it only gives you 4 options though.
Yeah, you could do like A, B, C, or D, or
Which tier was most accurate?
no, like what grade would you give it? Like A, B, C, or D? Like
Oh, I see. How were we at least close to on the mark with this one?
right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on board with that. But all right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. You guys have a good night, and I will see you guys for the next one when we all got some time.
I'm sorry, Ken Anissa and Mondo. You did
Shout out
very
Parker
well.
Valley.
We'll pour one out for Gary Martin, and please do ask him. All right. Later, guys.